Take a supernatural journey with me as we step back in time to one Halloween night turned into a parent's worst nightmare. This is the haunting story of Cindy Song, a young Penn State student who disappeared without a trace after attending a university Halloween party on October 31st, 2001. In the early morning hours of November 1st, Cindy returned to her apartment after a night of Halloween fun. She'd spent the evening dancing with friends, dressed in a Playboy bunny costume, and was dropped off just before dawn. She stepped inside her quiet college apartment, the door clicking shut behind her as shadows stretched across the floor. And somewhere between that moment and sunrise, she vanished. Her purse, keys, and costume were missing, but there was no sign of Cindy. Mysteriously, no one reported her missing until 3 days later, on November 4th. The neighbors reported no screams. There was no security footage, just a silent apartment, frozen in time, with a handful of eerie clues and a trail of disturbing stories, including a mysterious woman crying for help miles away, to rumors of a killer who kept her bunny ears as a trophy. Join us as we retrace Cindy Song's final steps, uncover the chilling details of her case, and the haunting clues she left behind. From the lashes on her vanity to the endless stories of what might have happened to her that fateful night. This is Death by Misadventure. Cindy Song was born on February 25, 1980, in South Korea. She was the eldest child in a close-knit family, with loving parents and a younger brother who remained behind in Seoul when Cindy left home at the age of 15. In 1995, she moved to Virginia to live with her aunt and uncle, who took on the role of guardians while she pursued an American education. It was a big change for her, across continents, languages, and cultures, but one that Cindy embraced with quiet resilience. Despite the distance, Cindy stayed close with her family back home. She called often and sent photos, sharing pieces of her new world. But she also worked hard to build a life of her own, a bright, hopeful one. She attended high school in Virginia, adjusting quickly and building a life that blended the traditions of her upbringing with the ambitions of her new world. In 1999, she was thrilled to be accepted to Pennsylvania State University, where she majored in integrative arts, a program that allowed her to channel her creativity into design, media, and visual expression. Cindy was artistic, intelligent, and driven. She worked multiple jobs to support herself, taking overnight shifts at the Penn State Laptop Lending Library and waiting tables at a Korean restaurant called Seoul Garden. Cindy was known best for her radiant smile and playful style. She had pierced ears, a navel piercing, and a signature look that stood out. Petite at 5'1", with long black hair and deep brown eyes. By all accounts, she was considered quite pretty, not just because of her appearance, but because of her warmth and quiet confidence. Cindy was the kind of girl who lit up a room without even trying. People were naturally drawn to her smile, her laugh, and her positive energy. But beneath her bright exterior was a girl trying to find her way through college, new independence, and her first love. In early 2001, Cindy began dating a fellow Penn State student named Richard Che. Their relationship moved quickly. Within a few months, they had moved in together. Friends described their dynamic as relatively normal, not overly affectionate, but they appeared to make a good couple. Cindy didn't talk much about the relationship in detail, but she seemed happy, stable, and content. That's what made it all more surprising when in September of 2001, Richard broke up with her, and moved out of their shared apartment. There are different versions of why they split. Some of her friends said it was simply a case of two young people moving in too quickly. Others suggested Cindy had grown more serious about the relationship, and he wasn't ready for a long-term commitment. What's known for certain is that the breakup caught Cindy off guard. She was heartbroken. For a time, she became more withdrawn, quieter in her calls home to Korea, more distant with friends. Even when she visited her aunt and uncle in Virginia, she wasn't herself. But she didn't spiral. Instead, Cindy began to bounce back from her first heartbreak. By October, she was reconnecting with friends, going out again, and preparing for her final semester. She had plans to apply for jobs in design, and she was organizing her schedule for final exams. According to those closest to her, she had turned a corner emotionally. Cindy was excited about the next chapter in her life. Still, there were moments of vulnerability. One of the last things Cindy posted online was a poem. Just a few lines, but enough to make you wonder. Sad but happy, crying but laughing, ugly but pretty, hungry but full, hurt but fine, I pretend. A silent cry for help, a coded confession, a glimpse into the soul of a young woman trying to keep her head above water. But there was no evidence Cindy was planning to disappear. She didn't suffer from depression. She had no history of running away. She had career goals, a loving family, and was making plans for after she graduated from college. So when Halloween night arrived, and Cindy donned a Playboy bunny costume, pink ears, white tennis skirt, a red parka to stay warm, it was just Cindy being Cindy, dancing with her friends, laughing, enjoying her life. But no one knew that this would be the last night anyone would see her alive. October 31st, 2001. It was a Wednesday, and the town of State College, Pennsylvania, buzzed with Halloween energy. Students crammed into packed apartments and bars, the streets dotted with costumes and laughter, a brief escape from midterms and real-life worries. For Cindy's song, it was a chance to step outside the weight of recent heartbreak and enjoy a night of fun with her girlfriends. She had plans to go out with two close friends, Stacy Pike and Lisa Kim, fellow Korean-American students at Penn State. The trio had grown close over their years at school, bonded by a shared cultural background and an easy friendship that brought comfort and joy. That evening, Cindy transformed into a bunny, not the sultry kind you expect at a frat party, but her own playful take on the costume. She wore a pink pair of bunny ears, a white tennis skirt, a pink sleeveless top, and brown suede knee-high boots. Over it all, she tossed on a red hooded parka to keep her warm in the crisp Pennsylvania autumn. The girls started the night at a Halloween party near campus, dancing and sipping drinks. From there, they moved to the Players nightclub, a popular spot known for the pulsing dance floor and drink specials. Surveillance footage would later confirm Cindy entered the club smiling and full of energy. By all accounts, she was having fun, social, upbeat, and not overly intoxicated. After the club closed around 2 a.m., they stopped by a friend's apartment in the Park Hill complex to hang out for a bit, played video games, chatted, and slowly wound down the night. Cindy didn't seem upset or out of sorts. She was just Cindy, playful, present, and grounded. Around 3:30 or 3:45 a.m., Stacy and Lisa dropped Cindy off at her apartment on West Clinton Avenue. They'd also made a quick stop for food at a 24-hour store on the way home, a late-night snack, the kind of casual detail that makes everything feel more ordinary, more safe. Stacy later told police she watched Cindy walk toward her building. She didn't see her go inside, but there was no reason to wait. Cindy had made this walk countless times before. She seemed fine, a little tired, maybe, but not impaired, not distressed. That was the last time Stacy saw her friend Cindy alive. At first, no one panicked. It wasn't unusual for Cindy to lay low for a day. Maybe she was sleeping off the Halloween hangover. Maybe she had her phone off. Her friends decided to give her some space. But by November 2nd, they began to worry. Cindy hadn't shown up for class. She hadn't returned texts. No one had seen her. Her light in her apartment never came on. Her phone rang. Still no answer. And that warm, bright energy, the one that always checked in, always made sure you knew she was okay, was gone. It was Lisa Kim who finally called the police, her voice shaking as she tried to explain. Our friend is missing, and this isn't like her. When officers arrived at Cindy's apartment on West Clinton Avenue, the door was locked. Nothing looked out of place, not at first. But as they stepped inside, a stillness filled the air. It was like walking into a moment frozen in time. Her red parka, the one she wore over her bunny costume, hung neatly in the closet. Her false eyelashes, carefully peeled off, rested on the bathroom sink. Her backpack and cell phone were there. Even her contact lenses had been removed, just like she did every night. It looked like she had come home, slipped off her costume, started her routine, unwound for bed. But then she vanished. Her purse, keys, and the suede boots she wore that night were missing, along with the bunny costume itself. There was no note, no sign of struggle, no broken glass, no knocked-over lamp, just an eerie sense that something had interrupted her. Or maybe something or someone lured her back out into the night. Friends would later say Cindy would never leave without her phone, not alone, not at that hour. She was too smart for that, too cautious, the kind of girl who checked in. And yet, sometime between 4 a.m. and sunrise, Cindy's song disappeared. Police interviewed her two friends, Stacy Pack and Lisa Kim, who described the night before, the Halloween party at the Players nightclub, the late-night hangout at a friend's apartment, and the final drive home. Stacy told police she dropped Cindy off around 3:45 a.m. and watched her walk towards the front door, but never saw her enter. Was someone waiting in the shadows? Did she run into someone she knew? Or was there a plan she hadn't shared? Rumors began to spiral. Some believed she'd gone out to clear her head. Others wondered if she had a secret relationship. But none of it added up. Cindy hadn't hinted at her plans. She wasn't upset. She was happy, even glowing that night. A woman on the edge of graduation, of new dreams. That night, search crews combed the surrounding wood and trails near her apartment and the Penn State campus. Flyers were stapled to telephone poles. Candlelight vigils flickered against the cold, but no clues surfaced. No last image on surveillance, no witness sightings, no sign of her ever reaching her door. The last known record of Cindy's song remains chillingly mundane. A college girl in a bunny costume, returning home after a night out with friends, and then nothing. Later, as the days stretched into weeks, her family traveled from South Korea to the United States, desperate to help. According to the Charlie Project, they cleaned her apartment shortly after the initial police search, inadvertently destroying what little physical evidence might have been there. It was a tragic, heartbreaking mistake. They just wanted to help, to make it livable again, to do something, anything, that might make Cindy come back. But the trail had already gone cold. It was as if that Halloween night had pulled her into the darkness, as if something unseen, something not entirely of this world, had slipped through the veil of time and taken her. In the first few days after Cindy's disappearance, the investigation was cautious, methodical, but slow. There was no obvious crime scene, no signs of struggle, no broken windows or bloodstains to tell a story. But as the hours turned into days, investigators began to peel back the layers. Detectives interviewed Cindy's closest friends, including Stacy and Lisa. Both described the same timeline: the Halloween party, the dance club, the brief stop at a friend's place, and the final drop-off outside Cindy's apartment just after 4 a.m. Lisa and Stacy were clear. Cindy seemed fine. No talk of meeting anyone. No hints of danger. They also spoke to Cindy's ex-boyfriend who lived nearby. The two had recently broken up. A painful split, but not a violent one. Police quickly ruled him out. His alibi checked out, and there was no evidence to suggest he was involved. Officers canvassed the area around West Clinton Avenue. They knocked on doors, questioned neighbors, and asked if anyone had seen or heard anything strange in those early morning hours. One neighbor reported hearing a woman scream that night, but it was Halloween, and the sound was dismissed as party noise. Another mentioned a dark SUV idling near Cindy's apartment around 4 a.m., its engine humming quietly in the pre-dawn fog. But no license plate was noted. No one remembered who was behind the wheel. Authorities then turned to the registry of local sex offenders. There were several in the area, but no strong leads, no one who stood out as a clear threat. Still, this angle lingered. After all, Cindy had vanished in the dead of the night, with no witnesses and no trace. Theories began to swirl. Was she abducted by a stranger? Had someone lured her back out after she got home? Or did something darker take her? Something more calculating? Rumors spread across campus. Soon the internet was buzzing. Message boards lit up with theories and late-night speculation. One theory, popular among amateur sleuths and later shared in the Unsolved Mysteries archives, suggests that Cindy may have left her apartment sometime after returning home. Maybe to get food, maybe to clear her head, maybe she felt unsettled. There was, after all, a 24-hour supermarket nearby. But here's where the story fractures. Some reports claim her warm parka was found inside her apartment, suggesting she never intended to step outside again. Others believe she may have thrown it on over her bunny costume for a quick trip to the store. That small detail, the coat, remains one of the case's most unsettling mysteries. Perhaps she slipped out with it. Perhaps she braved the cold without. Either way, perhaps someone was waiting, or watching. It's possible, they said, she was abducted en route to the store or just outside of it, her steps swallowed by the darkness of those early morning hours. Another lead surfaced weeks later. A woman matching Cindy's description was reportedly seen in Philadelphia's Chinatown, more than 3 hours away. Witnesses claimed she was being forced into a vehicle, screaming for help. The account was chilling, haunting. But like so many pieces of this puzzle, the image blurred, the trail ran cold. Authorities eventually dismissed the sighting as unverified, unable to tie it conclusively to Cindy. Two stories, worlds apart, a midnight errand gone wrong, or a desperate cry for help miles away, both haunting but never proven. As weeks turned into months, the case grew colder, but the rumors, they grew darker. One of the most disturbing stories came from Hugo Marcus Selinski, a career criminal with a violent past. According to an informant, Selinski bragged that he had abducted Cindy and claimed that he kept her bunny ears as a souvenir. Investigators couldn't ignore it. The story was first reported in the New Zealand Herald. Selinski was no stranger to law enforcement. He had a long rap sheet that included bank robbery, kidnapping, and violent assaults. In 2003, police searching his property in Luzerne County uncovered the remains of at least 5 people buried in his backyard. He was eventually convicted of 2 murders, including the killings of a pharmacist and his girlfriend, and was sentenced to life in prison. At one point, prosecutors alleged he had been involved in as many as 8 killings. Against that backdrop, the rumor about Cindy was chilling. A man with a proven history of violence, a backyard filled with bodies, and a boast about abducting a college student on Halloween night. Was it another twisted exaggeration from a career criminal known for manipulation? Or had Cindy truly crossed paths with a killer hiding in the Pennsylvania hills? The lead was followed, but like so many before it, the evidence never quite lined up. No physical proof ever tied Selinski to Cindy. Without it, the claim dissolved into the fog of rumor and hearsay. Still, the image lingered. Cindy's playful bunny ears, a Halloween costume turned into something grotesque. Cindy's parents were devastated. Her mother traveled to the U.S. in the weeks following her disappearance, hoping to help in any way she could. Her brother Ki Ha-sung became perhaps Cindy's most persistent advocate. He flew from Seoul to State College and stayed in Cindy's apartment for months, quietly aiding in searches, monitoring tips, and confronting detectives with questions about stalled leads. In public statements, Ki-ha criticized local law enforcement's speed and thoroughness. He pointed to missed opportunities, unsearched spaces, and forensic examinations that took too long, or never happened at all. He feared that time was slipping away and that Cindy's story might fade with it. On campus, Cindy's friends Stacy, Lisa, along with other friends, continued to press for answers. Their lives moved forward, graduations, jobs, relationships, but Cindy remained in the shadows of every reunion, every memory. Cindy's disappearance sent shockwaves through Penn State. The university's campus police initially handled the early investigation before state and federal agencies took over. Some students and parents later questioned whether the university responded quickly and forcefully enough. Cindy's missing person posters appeared across the campus. Student groups held vigils. Local media covered the missing bunny girl narrative, fueling speculation and fear. But the trail on campus ran cold. No new security footage, no eyewitnesses, no breakthroughs. More than 2 decades later, Cindy Song's case remains open and unsolved. The Pennsylvania State Police maintain a cold case file. Detectives periodically revisit tips, compare old evidence with new methods, and hope that someone out there will step forward. Some still believe Cindy had been taken by someone she knew, someone who knocked on her door in those quiet early hours. Others insisted it was the work of a predator, a man who had been hunting that night, searching for a victim, and found Cindy walking alone to the store that evening. But with no body, no physical evidence, and no confirmed sightings, every theory ended the same way, in silence. Her family and supporters never allowed her story to disappear. Every Halloween, Cindy's name resurfaces in the press, in podcasts, online forums, and among true crime circles who refuse to let her case go silent. Her family has never given up hope. They continue to believe someone, somewhere, knows what happened that night. In Cindy Song's cold case, it almost feels like her story embodies that delicate threshold, a life filled with beauty and possibility, a disappearance steeped in mystery. She was born under the sign of Pisces. She was a dreamer, an artist, a soul who straddled 2 worlds. Pisces often walk the line between light and shadow, between the seen and the unseen. On that Halloween night in 2001, Cindy Song disappeared, but sometimes it feels as though she never left. Friends say her laughter still echoes in their memory. Her brother still feels her presence, a tug in the quiet hours of the night. And each Halloween, when the moon is high and the costumes return, her story rises again, like a spirit refusing to be silenced. Some mysteries end in answers, others become legends. Cindy's story is both, a reminder that the boundary between life and loss, light and shadow, is more fragile than we'd like to believe. Cindy will be remembered as a beautiful daughter, a kind sister, a wonderful friend, an artist of her own life, painting each day with laughter, fashion, and dreams of tomorrow. We may never know what happened after she stepped out of the car at 4 a.m., but we know this: Cindy Song's life mattered, her story endures, and as long as we speak her name, she is not lost. If you have any information about Cindy Song's disappearance, please contact Ferguson Township Police at 814-237-1172.